My cousin called, because she was giving her lizard a bath, and it went down the drain. It was like a tiny house gecko named Steve. She called 911 crying that Steve was drowning and had gone down the drain. By the time the dispatcher figured out Steve was a gecko, the police and fire department were already pulling in. She was like 6 or so, and I still tease her about it. I do feel bad for Steve though. My mom was a 911 operator. When telling us about her new job, she was describing to my brother and I that she got a job at the place you call 911. Next day mom's at work. My brother calls 911 just to tell mom about his day. Not an operator, but my now ex-boyfriend who called in. He usually worked a late shift, walking home about 2 a.m. This shift he got off work a few hours late. Boyfriend, I'd like to call and report a fire. We live in a fire-prone area and it was a season. 911, where is it located, sir? Boyfriend, on the hillside just east of city. 911, can you be more specific? Typing away in the background. Boyfriend, yes, gives a more detailed location. Oh God, it's getting bigger. The whole top of the hill is on fire now. 911, stay calm sir, we're sending somebody out. Boyfriend, it's getting bigger. Doesn't anybody else see this? It's lighting up the sky around it. It's huge. Oh God. Oh, wait. 911, sir? Boyfriend, I am so sorry. I'm not usually out this time of night, I just got off work late. That's the sun. 911, boyfriend, I am so sorry for wasting your time. There is no fire, that's just the sun rising. Never mind, I'm really embarrassed. 911, that's fine, sir. I will cancel the call, thank you for calling. Paramedic here. I had a guy who picked his ward at 3 a.m., and it was bleeding. That's it. That's the story. My mom works as a 911 operator. She got a call one time from a girl in gym class, at the local high school. She was in a panic, and completely serious saying, there was a squirrel on top of a telephone pole at the school, and it wasn't coming down. How could someone possibly think this was an emergency? The squirrel might fall. Had a drunk person call to report he was being harassed. Truth was he was being arrested by our officers for throwing pizza at people. All I heard in the background was one of my officers saying to him, "That better not be our dispatcher on the phone," followed by some muffled talking, and my officer taking the phone and saying, "He will be taking a ride with us now," and hung up. Still laugh about it to this day. Also had a drunk woman call 911 because she couldn't remember her phone passcode. I totally did that phone passcode thing once. I got blocked out of my phone for entering the wrong passcode, so stupid teenage me thought the emergency button connects to the phone center to fix my password. 911, what's your emergency? Wait, what? Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. So it's not an emergency? No, it's not an emergency. So sorry. Yeah, embarrassing. I have been in the 911 biz for over 22 years. If a caller starts the call with, "I swear I'm not crazy," then you need to buckle up for some insanity. A guy started a call with those words, after escaping from his apartment, and running to the closest 7-Eleven. He swore that his roommates were turning into giant crabs. That was going to show the officers that they were currently in giant cocoons transforming. As you might expect, he was tripping balls. Not an operator. I'm a prosecutor. Guy lived in a rooming house that had a public area where all the residents could hang out. It had a microwave in it provided by the landlord. Guy called 911 around midnight one night because the microwave wasn't there. The conversation with the dispatcher went something like this: "Dispatcher, so you called 911 because a microwave you don't even own is missing? Did you ask your landlord if you took it?" Guy, no. Dispatcher, well, that's not an emergency, sir. Guy, but I'm really hungry. Meanwhile, a person with an actual emergency had to be put on hold briefly, because this guy was adamant that this was the worst thing to ever happen. The genius insisted that police officers be sent to his rooming house ASAP, because of the missing microwave. Officers showed up so they could cite him for improper use of 911. The guy pleaded not guilty, and requested a jury trial. He represented himself. The jury was out 20 minutes before it announced its guilty verdict. Paramedic here. Once we had a young woman call 911 around 2 a.m., saying that her legs were turning blue. Turns out, she had worn a new pair of jeans to the club that night. I'm currently in nursing school, and in our fundamentals class the book specifically said that if a patient's palms are blue, you should ask if they're wearing new jeans. So apparently, this is fairly common. Worked at a level 1 trauma center. We had a guy come in with his wife after demanding that an ambulance transport him to the hospital. He was less than 2 blocks away. All he had was a broken finger. Another time, we got a call for a major trauma, single vehicle collision with the median, or something like that, reported 2 patients. First one rolls in at a reasonable time, then we stand around, waiting for the second dude. Ends up showing up 20-30 minutes later. Turns out he started arguing with the medics, cause he wanted one last cigarette, before he went to the hospital. Edit. Also we had a guy come in with full thickness burn to 60-ish of his body, cause he tried refueling his lawnmower while smoking. That one was both super dumb and super sad. Police 911 operator here for 15 years. The stories I have. I've had someone call 911 to know how long to smoke a brisket. I've had someone call 911 to ask what the fines for parking tickets are. I've had someone call 911 to wish me a Merry Christmas when I was working at 3 a.m. on Christmas morning. I've had someone call 911, report that their trunk wasn't opening, and they wanted to know what to do about it. I've had someone call 911 in a rural community because a black dude was walking down the street, and we don't get their kind here. I worked on September 11th. I had people call 911 for weeks after, because there were 3 brown guys in a car and I thought you should know about it. I've had someone call 911 because they were lonely. About 1,000 times. And many, many more. I've done this for a while. Do people abuse the system? Sure. But for the most part I'm happy with how our children are taught to only use 911 if it's a life or death emergency, or if there's a crime in progress. Me, 911. This line is recorded. What is your emergency? Caller: Hi, I don't know if this counts, but 4 days ago I noticed a whole truck in my neighbor's driveway. Me: Okay. Caller: Well, the 2 guys looked really suspicious. They were walking around my house, like they didn't belong there. Me: 4 days ago? Caller: It's been bothering me, because my neighbors have been on vacation, and no one should be there. Me: Okay, we'll take a look. The entire house had been ransacked. All the valuables were gone. Too much time had passed for the local pawn shops to have the items, because they know what is stolen, and needs to be moved quickly. LPT: If something doesn't seem right, don't ever second-guess calling the cops immediately. If the operator gives you attitude, make a complaint. Was a 911 operator at my previous job. Had a woman call 911 because she saw someone driving down the road with his foot out the window. She was following him the whole time, and admitted he had his seatbelt on, wasn't texting or speeding, he just had his foot out the window. She wanted the police to pull him over, to which I had to explain he wasn't breaking any laws. She couldn't comprehend that driving with your foot out the window is not illegal, and proceeded to hang up on me, then call 911 again because apparently I didn't know the law and she needed someone to stop this man. We connected her to a deputy who told her if she didn't stop calling 911 for stupid reasons he was going to ticket her for abuse of emergency communications. A friend of mine once called 911 when he was a kid because his aunt was having a baby at the hospital. Reminds me of a family I used to babysit for. Dispatcher, what's your emergency? 4-year-old, I got a cut on my finger. Dispatcher, is your finger bleeding? 4-year-old, yeah, a little bit. Dispatcher, okay sweetie, is your mom or dad there to help you clean it up, and put a band-aid on it? 4-year-old, my mom is, but she fell over, and isn't talking anymore. He didn't call 911, because of his cut. He called, because he showed his mom his paper cut, and she passed out from the little pinprick of blood. She hit her head and was laying unconscious on the ground. Edit. You guys want to know more, so here's more. Mom was taken to the hospital. They gave her oxygen or something, I'm not sure, but she woke up that day and was fine, no brain damage or anything. She's really squeamish but an awesome mom. Nick, the 4-year-old, got a super cool Elmo band-aid. Nick's older brother Mitchell had a firefighter visit his class at school that week. When he got home from school that day, Mitchell called 911 to see if it was true. The firefighters came to the house and explained to Mitchell and Nick when to call and when not to call. I guess little Nick was listening. He got the paper cut a few days after the firefighters came. Thank you a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.